Had 2 podiums out of 3 starts, and I guess I'd be happy with a podium, but I'm really very seriously looking at this one as a win.
Well, a very fast start once again. 75 men all diving into the water. Once again, confirmation of the Olympic distance for the sport of triathlon: a 1500-metre swim, a 40-kilometre bike ride, a 10-kilometre run. But a lot of the big names and pre-race favourites are right up amongst them. As we said earlier, Hamish Carter, Chris Hill is swimming well. Greg Bennett is also there. And there you see the world number one, looking round to see Richard Stannard go by, not worrying him at all, as the Frenchman Poulat also looks to form the first group. Now these are the threats from Australia. Chris Hill on the right of your screens, Greg Bennett on the left, and these are the local boys who are looking to appease the crowd here. Greg Bennett now taking the lead pack along with Chris Hill tucked in right behind him. Of course, Bennett third here in 1998 in front of a home crowd, looking to go 2 places better. Back with the leaders, Greg Bennett to the applause of the crowd, coming underneath the Sydney Opera House and around in front of the grandstand where this big, huge screen has got 20,000 spectators really wrapped into this competition. Ending lap 3, going into lap 4, Greg Bennett has the lead. Jan Rehula now takes them along, with Greg Bennett number 4 in second position. The crowd cheering the Australians as they come into transition. It's Chris Hill and Greg Bennett. World number 1 Hamish Carter is just behind. Chris Hill possibly given first position into transition area, but it's very close indeed. A 10th off is Greg Bennett in second spot. They'll both hook up their bikes at the same time. Andrew Johns for Great Britain is also there. Hamish Carter given third position, just 0.5 of a second down on the 2 Australians. A very, very quick transition for Chris Hill. He's first away. Hamish Carter goes with him. Andrew Johns is there, but Chris Hill from Carter and Greg Bennett. The 1, 2 and 3 with a 10-kilometre run now to be taken in. Greg Bennett has already started to draw clear and make his mark on this competition, and this is something that we question, Steve. Has he gone too early? This really is a frightening early pace with at least 8 kilometres to go. Greg Bennett really is setting a demoralising pace for some of the other athletes. Look at him on the hills, climbing with absolute aggression, really full of confidence. He surely feels that he has the pace and the potential to keep it going, and this really is separating, splitting the field. Closing stages of the final lap for Greg Bennett, and the work has already been done. He has an advantage that now looks insurmountable. Chris Hill struggling back in 4th position. Jan Rehula and Andrew Johns look to be locked into battle for 2nd and 3rd spot. And like Michaela Jones and Loretta Harrop, that one will go to the wire. There is no question Greg Bennett has taken round 3 of the World Cup Tour. But watch these two. Andrew Johns starts to make his mark. He watches over his shoulder, and it looks as if the athlete from the Czech Republic, Jan Rehula, has nothing to answer with, as Greg Bennett now is just preparing himself for the rapturous applause from this 20,000 strong crowd who will enjoy every minute of this Australian double here in Sydney. Again, Greg Bennett looks over. He has no worries. These 2 athletes focusing on each other, because back comes Jan Rehula and Andrew Johns, the British competitor, now in 3rd position, as Rehula tries to pick up the pace, but Johns right on his shoulder, going with him all the way. To remind you, Andrew Johns 3rd in Ishigaki. He's looking to go one better here in Sydney, but already Greg Bennett can hear the applause. 20,000 have been glued to the big screen here in front of the Opera House, and this is the result they wanted. The local boy who was 3rd here last year has taken his 2nd career victory in front of an ecstatic local crowd. He prays now that it'll be the same story in September of the year 2000, but for now, round 3 in 1999 has gone to Greg Bennett. A superb, brave performance, a commanding 10-kilometre run, and the reward is possibly a definite place in the Australian World Championship squad. Round 3 of the ITU World Cup Tour belongs to Greg Bennett, an emphatic victory. Now we turn the cameras to see who takes 2nd position, and like Michaela Jones, Johns has taken his mark over Jan Rehula. Rehula turns to see whether 3rd is confirmed, and Andrew Johns goes one better than Ishigaki. He is the runner-up. If this were a year's time, it would be a silver medal, and Jan Rehula, his best result of the season so far, taking 3rd position for the Czech Republic. Confirmation of the Australian double here in Sydney. Greg Bennett ahead of Andrew Johns by 36 seconds. Jan Rehula is 3rd for the Czech Republic. World number 1 Hamish Carter 4th. Chris Hill 5th. And Watson in 6th position. Winner of Ishigaki, Greg Welsh 7th.